and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, ET Now's flagship series that celebrates the undying spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. On the show today, Paytm's Vijay Shekhar Sharma talks about his entrepreneurial journey, investing in tech startups and his success mantras. On Bright Sparks tonight, we feature Faasos, a tech-driven food company that's revolutionizing your dining experience. And The Carpet Seller, a mecca for certified antique rugs that can transform your living and workspaces. Well, that's what we have in store for you today. So let's begin then with our Bright Sparks. Our first Bright Spark today is a company that's delivering food in response to your swipes on your smartphone. Mumbai-based Faasos was established 5 years ago with an intent to take customer orders over an app. Today, it claims to be the only vertically integrated food business in India and is aiming to operate in 50 cities over the next few months. ET Now's Poulomi Mukhopadhyay caught up with the founders of Faasos.
What started as a corner store in Pune now operates in 15 cities of India. Being a front-runner of the food tech industry, Faasos is one of the only companies that takes orders, prepares dishes and delivers food from over 160 fulfillment centers across the country. Launched in the year 2004 by Jaideep Burman and Kalol Banerjee, Faasos has become the food destination for many.
Jaideep, when did the company Faasos start? How did you start this business?
Well, I think there were two starts to the company. The first one was back in 2004 when we started as one small shop, as a part-time venture. Kallol and I, we are co-founders of this company. And then we went our separate ways, and then I came back to India around 2011. That's when the real start has happened, when I picked it up from where I left and then put the team together and built it along the way.
What is the kind of story behind such a quirky name, Faasos?
We were looking for names, etc. And then we came up, we saw this country called Burkina Faso in Africa, and we Googled it and we found the meaning of the name is the land of the incorruptible. We thought Faso should be incorruptible, so let's start something that this is a recipe, doesn't have artificial colors and preservatives, etc., etc. So we thought it'll go well with what we want to build, and we named it Faso. But then, about 6 months down the line, I met a guy. This guy then told me that he lived in Burkina Faso for 10 years. It's the most corrupt country in the world. So we had to change the story then, and then we sort of reverse engineered the name to fanatic activism against substandard Occidental, whatever, and then that stuck.
So Faasos is one of the few companies that started the food tech genre in India. What kind of infrastructure goes behind such a mechanism?
When we started, we never had a lot of money, so we could not build, large storefronts, pay a lot of rents, etc. But then how do you reach customers? Technology is your only way. So, from day one, 80-85% of our sales used to come from deliveries, where people used to call us and we used to deliver. And then the natural movement was towards creating a website, creating a mobile app, taking orders through Twitter. We are the first company in the world to do that. So it's basically not so much by our strategic thinking that we'll build a technology company. It was more like we didn't have the money. So how do you go about it? Technology can solve those problems. So we created the infrastructure. Like when you order it, the order gets punched directly at your nearest outlet and all of those things. Probably we're the first ones in India to build such an infrastructure back in 2012.
Tell us about the new initiative Faasos Daily. What is it?
Well, Faasos Daily is an extension of our basic philosophy of your personal kitchen on an app. We've observed a lot of our loyal customers come back almost 2-3 times a day for breakfast, for snacks, for dinner to the Faasos app. So this is our way of giving back to our loyal customers by creating an invite-only service where the prices are really affordable, like really, really affordable. You can have it every day without burning a hole in your pocket. The menu changes every day. Really exciting stuff is available for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks.
Can a campaign like Digital India actually help companies like Faasos to have a greater reach?
Of course, I think it's a very noble enterprise, and And we've seen it, digital inclusion is one of the key levers of explosive growth. Whatever sector you call it, e-commerce, food tech, entertainment, education, whichever sector you pick, an internet revolution just fast forwards everything by a decade. So what we expect to happen is 2040 will happen in 2025 if the Digital India campaign comes through, which is great for any business and of course for any food tech business as well.
Menus ranging from Indian to Italian to continental. Faasos offers breakfast, lunch, snacks and dinner options all 365 days of the year. Customers can not only place an order over phone but can also use Faasos website and the application for quick delivery of food. Serving quality in every bite. Faasos offers different food options to different locations in the country to kill the concept of same menu monotony.
As a Faasos, we don't say ourselves that we are fast food company. We are food technology company where we give importance to our gourmet culinary kind of food. And for that, food technology is a must. And for technologies, we ensure that same thing is communicated to the customer, where we take a control, we take a ownership of the technology right from procuring to manufacturing to supply team, and when it goes to the last mile of the guest.
To address the colloquial question of every Indian, "Aaj khane mein kya hai?" Faasos services over 18,000 orders daily from over 160 delivery centers. Getting investments from the big names like Secure Capital Operations LLC and Lightbox Ventures, Faasos has delivered itself as one of the most promising startups in the Indian food tech sector.
All right, let's move on now from food to decor. Our next bright spark is a family-run business that has been transforming spaces since 1991. The carpet seller from New Delhi houses some of the country's most precious antiques and creates magic with its unique range of hand-knotted rugs and carpets. Run by a second-generation entrepreneur who's also, in fact, a specialist in Oriental rugs, the carpet seller offers the largest collection of its kind in India. ET Now's Libza Manan reports. The carpet seller in New Delhi is a paradise of hand-woven and hand-knotted masterpieces crafted in the form of rugs and carpets. Second-generation entrepreneur Dhruv Chandra is often regarded as an Oriental rug specialist amongst carpet connoisseurs for his inherent expertise in the touch and feel of these mesmerizing products.
This was started by my uncle, Mr. Sheel Chandra, who has been my dad's twin brother, and he had been collecting carpets as a private collector for many years, amongst many other things. And he had eventually built up the second largest private collection of rare carpets and textiles in Asia. And his dream was to actually open a carpet museum. And so he had been buying these things for many years, and we started to sell a lot of our products fairly recently in comparison to what his collection was.
The carpet seller not only manufactures and exports its products around the world, but also houses a wide collection of the finest carpets from different geographies. These ancient pieces, with their sheer brilliance, have been adorning distinguished homes and museums for many years. The brand has also gone online to let consumers experience the touch and feel of its masterpieces at their doorsteps.
We are a niche carpet company, and in India things get replicated very quickly. So we were not very sure whether we should go online or not, but now we've bitten the bullet and we are online now. So you can be sitting in any corner of the world and you can order a rug from anywhere, and we deliver in 5 working days. It's a fairly simple model, and I think that is the way for the future. I mean, eventually a lot of these companies who have gone online have done well, and I think with these tier 2, tier 3 cities and towns where a lot of people can't come to bigger cities or prefer to shop online. They have the facility and you know, they can buy something online.
The carpet seller has its manufacturing facilities across 17 major carpet weaving destinations, including Bhadohi, Jaipur and Kashmir. Nearly 1,000 artisans intertwine heritage and modern designs in these masterpieces, making them the dream of every curator. Along with delighting carpet lovers with its exquisite collections, the company also makes rigorous efforts to ensure weavers' satisfaction.
I think finding good labor and being able to retain people in this industry is a big challenge. You know, there's a lot of schemes that are actually meant for the betterment of the poor people, especially weavers, and some of them are good and effective, and I think the intent of these schemes was good, but some of these schemes are being mismanaged, and as a result of which a lot of people have quit industries and are sitting at home and actually not doing anything, and they somehow get money in their banks or money somehow through these schemes, and it's working counterproductive.
We make sure their living condition is good where they are staying, and we make sure they have ample facility where they are working in terms of cleanliness, good bathroom for them, like providing them with meals, providing education facilities for their children, that they don't get into carpet manufacturing. So we are like against child labor, and then we give them payments on time. You know, when they start a carpet, we give them an advance payment, and then we have step, like if you finish 25%, you get this much, and before the carpet ends and it's finalized check, they are paid their wages.
This leading carpet brand soon plans to open a museum showcasing diverse collections of rare beauties from around the world for carpet lovers. Tapping tier 2 markets in India and establishing a strong presence in the Italian market are among the many goals of the company that it is likely to achieve with Dhruv Chandra's innate love for carpets. Well, that was the inspiring story of the carpet seller from New Delhi. More inspiration coming up right after a short break as we chat up with Vijay Shekhar Sharma, the man behind the phenomenal success of India's most popular mobile wallet, Paytm. Stay with us on Leaders of Tomorrow, only on ET Now. Welcome back to Leaders of Tomorrow. Up next is our special segment, Insight, where we bring you views of policymakers, academicians and leaders of India Inc. on subjects that matter to the MSME sector. Tonight we are joined by a very special guest. His was the first company to be recognized as the SME of the Year on Leaders of Tomorrow way back in 2010. Today he's better known for his company Paytm, that's India's most popular mobile wallet and the country's largest m-commerce platform. Backed by two of the world's most iconic businessmen, Ratan Tata and Jack Ma, he's truly recognized as a startup unicorn of the country. Take a look at the conversation I had earlier with Vijay Shekhar Sharma. Over the last 6 years, when you look back, what has been the biggest achievement for you? The birth of Paytm would be one,
yes,
I'm sure.
Yes, actually, thank you so much. I think this show and this team means a lot to me. We were being recognized as SME and got visibility at that time. And one of the things that happened in between that year and this is that we became consumer-focused company. Earlier, we were serving telecom operators and brands as our technology company solutions. And then we took a bet that can we launch a consumer brand? And I think India's growing consumer base, growing smartphone base, and growing transaction commerce just gave us an opportunity to build a consumer brand. And one thing leading to other, today we are here where we are.
Right. And you started with, like you said, value-added services on
Yes.
the mobile, and then payments bank. How did that really happen?
So the journey started because we were selling content and services to the consumer using telecom operators. That business used to be called as value-added services, and we used to use telecom operator as a payment method also. So if you're buying a ringback tone, obviously telecom operator is charging you,
Yes.
and that service is being delivered. Over the period, we figured out there was a need to build an independent payment method for smartphone so that you can buy a few larger things, because telecom balance is useful only for smaller things or smaller balances that you buy. So we built Paytm. And once we got into payments as a business, we built relationship with hundreds of million consumers. I think today we are 120 million consumers. And once they are doing payments with us, we delve into that what next business that we can do or next life cycle offering we can do. We launched marketplace, and then we're launching bank, and then in due course financial services.
Right.
So it's actually a customer relationship that starts from payment and grows towards full-blown financial services.
You've then also moved on into hotel bookings, bus ticket bookings, content for the mobile, games, videos, music. What's your vision really for the company?
We have a consumer base who is using us for everyday payments, and then we want to make as many things that you can buy, everything, as many things that you need to be purchased using smartphones.
Right.
So whether, as you said, about games, music, hotels, or shirts, trousers, or anything, it's neutral.
And going back a little bit, rewinding a little bit, you came from a small town, your father was a biology teacher, yet you've always gone about saying that education is overrated. How does he take that?
I think school education, I believe, does not teach what realities of life are. So I do believe that you should go to school and you must do college, because you end up getting great friends and a lot more learning for future. But if you were to treat the class education as the final output, I don't think that is truly a value.
It does take a lot of failures for a seasoned entrepreneur to really grow and embark on that journey to success. If you look back, what was your favorite failure, the one that really taught you the most?
One of the interesting failure that we had, which became a blessing later on, but we were very traumatized when it was happening, was attempting an IPO. When we were SME of the year, that year we were actually in 2010 attempting an IPO.
Yes, I remember you mentioning
Yes, and that IPO was that we would have got listed as a company which was offering, let's say, technology solutions to businesses. But for a company which was offering business to business solution to change to business to consumer, B2C company like a consumer brand, would have been very tough if we were listed.
Yeah.
So somewhere we felt bad about that we were not listed, and there was a hard work that we did, but at the same time that became a blessing in later disguise.
that. Right. When you're evaluating startups for investment, what are you really looking at?
One of the things that I personally prefer to look at beyond a business plan is the team. And when I say team, I love to know what is their story, why are they in it. Somewhere everybody wants to bother about team, and I think teams have also learned to present themselves with an incredible story out there. Most important part is that why are you doing this startup? Is it because this segment or section is fancy, or do you have a personal story which connects to this story? When entrepreneurs who have some behind the scenes story which makes them do the businesses they do a very different job versus those who do it because there is an opportunity in the market. So I always look out for people who have a different behind the scenes story to do a startup. That's a preferred mode. And once we are sorted on that, then obviously the business model and business plan there. But bigger part that I look at is the behind the scenes story. Why are you doing it?
What sort of policy and infrastructure needs does the Indian startup ecosystem have today?
First of all, I think I'm having a lot of expectations from our Prime Minister's vision of Startup India, and one of the clear understanding is that startups are treated like big companies are treated. So whether there are compliances of many rules which don't apply for technology companies or startups still get applied, because that is how we are treating everybody equal. So I wish our company laws and law of the land and various government bodies treat startups or technology companies, if you will, in a different way than they treat everybody else. That way there is a less burden of sort of government interaction management. Secondly, as an infrastructure, I believe the good thing that we have had in the country is there are all stage investors now. There are angel investors, seed investors, and even those who can do $100 million of investment. But shockingly, all these investors, as soon as you go towards late stage, are from outside. There are no Indian companies or Indian investors which are doing these hundreds of million dollars of investments.
Right.
So I wish that there are more Indian companies and more Indian, let's say, entrepreneurs who are becoming part of VC funds or investing in VC funds as a LP that invest in Indian companies. Unless Indian companies contribute to the Indian venture funds, it won't become an Indian ecosystem. Right. It right now is still a foreign funded ecosystem, and we continue to look out for that.
But has the ease of doing business improved over the last couple of years, or has there been no significant change on the ground?
One thing that has changed in last few years, and new government has definitely done that, there is a vibe and there is an excitement and there is an intent that we will solve it. For the first time, we have seen government interacting with entrepreneurs so openly, government very openly bringing suggestions and technology as a part of the ecosystem. Right. So these are all fabulous signs, and I'm very hopeful that as year passes, a lot of this will get visible, because ultimately India is a large complex country. We can't expect that it will happen in few months.
You're today backed by two of the most iconic businessmen of the world, in fact, Ratan Tata and Jack Ma of Alibaba. So did you ever think it's going to be that big, and what was the experience like?
Truth is that I find it surreal that these are the people whom I look up to, and they become part of the family or support system that I sort of have today. So it's very humbling and it's very kind and nice of that these people have supported me, and I think whenever I think of it as what has we in last few years have done, I thank God and thank every teammate that we were able to achieve it. And the best part is that these people are those who are institutional builders, and I wish that we leave a legacy of another hundreds of years of legacy of institution building. Right. So their support, their investment and their guidance matter to us, because we will be able to bring something new to this country.
What are some of the learnings from Jack Ma and from Ratan Tata that you can share for the benefit of small enterprises?
Till now, most of the power of influencing government policy or benefits, which have been sort of on a larger business sense. Right. And larger businesses have taken larger advantage of this. So India typically like a poor remains poor and rich becomes richer. So larger business becomes even larger and the smaller business remains smaller. I think technology is the divide that will change that. And so the learning from Jack Ma has been very clear that I think small is beautiful for Paytm, and I think that is beautiful here. So what is that? With Mr. Tata, it has been about interacting with him is such a humbling experience that you feel that it's like that banyan tree lesson, that once you achieve a lot, you become even more humble. And I think that is what I want to take it from him, that I wish that if God gives us continuous support and we become far more capable, the humbling we don't miss out, and what impact we can bring to the country, we don't miss out on that.
Right. And on a lighter note, you're also a music lover. You love your jazz and blues. So does music give you any lessons for business?
I think it does. The rhythm plays along. If everything is in rhythm, it sounds good. And if every part of business is playing good, if the sales is in sync with product and product is in sync with operations, it's a better business any day.
Oh, that's very well said. All right. And before I let you go, top 3 mantras of success for any micro or small enterprise?
The biggest one is that you have to have a perseverance. Look, success and failures are sequential. Because you are failing, you are not supposed to give up. You are supposed to find where the success will come. The failure is not final and success is not permanent. That's the important thing. So perseverance to continue at a journey is the only successful reason. If you remember 2010, we were some successful company. We today are a different kind of successful company because we didn't stop at that laurel. So don't stop at success, don't stop at failure. Keep at it.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And the second is that you have to have incredible amount of team talent and support system around you. It's magical when one person can do a lot, but it is important, like you said a while back, it's like music output, that you have to have different players, different teammates. So you should know what you're good at, and you should have complementary people around you. If you're good at product, then probably operations, finances. If you're good at business, then product, technology, and so on and so forth. So it's very important to learn what you're good at and fill up with the complementary roles outside. And final one, who said you're small? The thinking has to be big. Those who think big, make it to big ones.
Well, with that, it's a wrap for tonight on Leaders of Tomorrow. Through the week, we'll bring you discussions, solve your business queries, and celebrate your spirit of entrepreneurship. Feel free to get in touch with us with your ideas, queries, or feedback on the email ID leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com, or reach out to us using social media by putting in the hashtag LOT, or just feel free to call us on the number on your screen. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.